Hi, I'm Hayley Maybrier, and I'm going to be going through some of the toy books that I found for this week's assignment. So to start, I found The Christmas Gingerbread Man by Nancy Parent. It's a little lift the flap book. Unfortunately, this one and the next book I will be talking about haven't been taken care of the best, so they're actually missing all of the flaps in the book. They've just been torn off. But I thought that these books would be fun as like a little interactive type book where they can lift up the flaps and identify what's underneath them as like a cognitive and a critical thinking activity. And I also thought as they go through the book, there is like a little bit of a plot. The gingerbread man will go different places as he's making his gingerbread house. So as an activity, the kids could draw a map or at least an order of events line describing where all the gingerbread man goes throughout this book. Another book also by Nancy Parent is The Christmas Rocking Horse. It's also a little lift the flaps, also missing all of the flaps on the inside. Ideally, if the flaps were there, it'd be a good interactive activity for them to all do. This book is just a little bit more challenging than the last book. It has some lengthier words. So as a language development type activity, I would ideally have my class go through and pick out 3-syllable words and sound them out and do like a clapping exercise. For instance, there's a word ornament in here, so like ornament as a little exercise to work on how to split up syllables in words. My next book is Just a Snowy Day. It is by Mercer Mayer. This one's a little fun book that has some like pull tabs with some like textured pieces on the inside that they can feel. There's some flaps that the kids can open up and some kind of silly little things on the inside. For this book, I thought it'd be fun. They could do an actual order of events thing describing what all he's done throughout his snow day. And then as a more of a personality development exercise, I could have my class either write a story or draw a picture of what all they would like to do in their snow days. They could even do something similar. But yeah, this is a little fun, cute, adorable little book. Some of the pieces have been peeled off. Sadly, a lot of these books haven't been the best taken care of at the library I went to, but there's just some fun, interactive little things in there. Okay, so the next book I chose was The Haunted Castle. This is by Stephanie Laslett. I think that's how you say that. This book I chose as a toy book because it's got some like holographic pictures in here, as well as on certain pages there's some little like windows that you can like peek through and see stuff from the next page or the previous page with those holographic mirror like pictures. For this one would be a good one for setting. Each kid could identify where they're at, the characters are at on each page. For example, for this scene, you could ask where they're at and they could identify that there's a bathtub here, a sink, so they could guess that they're probably in a bathroom. So it's just a cute little book for that. And then for social development, I think it'd be cute to have the kids kind of describe what they would look like or draw what they'd look like if they were a monster in this book, or rewrite their own version of what they would do in the haunted castle. My next book, also by Stephanie Laslett, is The Monster Party. It has very similar type features as the last book. It has some like holographic, kind of like you tilt them certain ways and they change color a little bit, as well as some little windows here and there also in this book. I thought we could kind of put this one for character development, as if they went through the book, they could like pick out certain characters and describe what they're doing in each page of the book as they go throughout that. And then there is one page in the book where they're talking about a spell. I think a cute activity to do with your class for language development was challenge them to write their own spell and challenge them to make each line rhyme. Or at least do some type of pattern like ABA, AB, you know. All of that would be a fun activity for rhyming. My next book is Snake Gets It in Shape. This is by Keith Faulkner. It has a little bit of a touchy-feely cover on that. And on the inside there are some flaps and stuff you can open up, and it does a little bit of, tells you what shape they are and comparable household things you might see that are the same shape and so on. So for this one, obviously, like the flaps is kind of like a cognitive thing. They can open each flap and describe what they're seeing. Another activity you could do is have them find like a shape, for instance, like a square. And this one compares it to a window. I would challenge the class to come up with their own shape and draw a picture of what they're seeing. And they could also do like a connect and matching type activity where you would have like a picture of the shape the snake is in, and then they can like connect it to the word. So if they saw this image, they could connect it to a triangle. My next book I chose was Telling the Time by Heather Amory. And this one's a cute little book. As you go through it, obviously there's like a hole you can see through, and the clock, which you can change the time. So for this one, as they go along through the book, pretty much the kids are going through their day. They could go through, and this one says it's 7 o'clock, so you could have the kids change the time to 7. It's a good exercise on telling time. And then for social, they could get in a group and kind of discuss what they do as their daily routine and what they do going through their day as they move the clock. So for instance, the kids could be like, I wake up at 7 o'clock, go through their day. Maybe they eat lunch at noon, could move the clock. So it's a cute little interactive way to teach time and telling time. My next book that I picked out, actually my last 3 books are I Spy books. I had a little bit of trouble finding some interactive books, but they are about toys. These type of books were actually my favorites growing up because you could go through and search for what they're asking for, and it just keeps you very intact and in focus. So for this one, you're obviously finding toys throughout each little scene. It just makes people in the classes pay attention to detail and keep focus. And you could even do like a timed activity where they have a certain amount of time to find certain objects on each page. Do like a relay groups in class. And just simply cognitive development, because they have to identify what they're looking for and be able to find it on each page. The next book that I found was Can You See It? Once Upon a Time. This is by Walter Wick. This one is actually about many children's stories or fairy tales that they're probably familiar with growing up or hearing in a school setting or even through movies. So since this one's also about finding toys or objects, I kind of consider this to be a toy book. So for instance, one of these pages, this is Little Red Riding Hood. And as you go through, there are different stories. Like this one is Hansel and Gretel. So for like character, I would want them to go through and find the main characters in each story and be able to identify what they are doing. And then for personality development, I think it'd be a cute, fun little activity if they were able to describe what these characters might be feeling in the set scene of each page. It's a cute little one, just with like a list of things that they need to find, and also very detailed images that they can admire. And then finally, the last book, also an I Spy book by Jean Marzolo, Marzolo maybe, and Walter Wick again. This one is I Spy Treasure Hunt. So again, they are searching for toys or other images, and it's laid out a little bit different. Instead of having like one page of image, you get to see a lot of visual. So this one, again, it's also an interactive because the kids can like point to objects they find, or even you could ask them, what sound does a car make? You could do fun activities like that. So yeah, those are the books that I found for toy themed books. Some of them were a little bit harder to connect to toys than others, but ranging from birth to 8th grade, so you can still find a fun interactive way and a fun interactive book to get a bigger picture on, and as well as kind of tie it to areas of development and literary elements. That way there's more to the story than just we're going to read a story. There's going to be fun activities where they're learning about themselves, they're learning about other people, and learning about things in the story. So that is why I chose those. So thank you.